Buenas tardes, Year 3. I hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. Now, the other day, I received this in the post. And can you see what it says on there? Well done. 1/3 stories. Shall we see what's inside? Okay, we have a story called The Watery Tale of Wilma the Whale. We've got an activity sheet, looks like some colouring in, some flashcards with different words and pictures on, and a colourful activity book. It's just an example of one of the pages. And this comes from a company called 1/3 Stories. And I'm going to read the story to you in a minute. Can you please go and get a piece of paper and a pencil, because you're going to make a few notes as we read the story. See you in a bit.
Okay, so I just wanted to remind you all about the Spanish at grange.harrow.sch.uk address. Please don't forget to send your work at the end of the lesson to that address. And if you do, you will get a shout out and some class chart points like these children. So a huge well done to Dima, Hussein, Natalia, Sophie and Fiona. And Year 3, it's my wish that next time this screen will be full of even more names, okay? What you will need this lesson: your listening ears, some paper and pencil, which you already have got, I think, some colouring pencils and felt tip pens, and a ruler. So pause the video and go and get those things. And let's go through our date and learning intention. So, my go and then your go. Viernes, el 19 de junio 2020. So our learning intention is to listen, understand and respond to a special type of story. And the success criteria: I can listen and learn or revise some Spanish vocabulary. I can translate keywords from the story from Spanish to English. I can draw and label a picture of the key characters from the story, and I can review the story, so like a little book review. So that part will be in English, don't worry. And most of the story is in English too. Okay, we're just learning a few Spanish words. Right, on the next slide, I have shown you the pictures from the story, and I've just added that in because when I played back the recording of when I actually told the story, which you'll see a bit later on in the video, some of the pictures aren't very clear. So for now, just have a look at the pictures, okay? Okay, so for the next part of the lesson, you are going to listen to me reading the story to you. As I said, I'm sorry about some of the quality of the pictures, but the main thing is you can hear the story by listening to me, okay?
Okay, welcome back everybody. Now, do you remember I said it's a 1/3 story that I'm going to read you? So think about your maths learning on fractions. How would we write 1/3? Have a go on your piece of paper. Excellent. It would be 1 and then a horizontal line and then the 3. So 1 as the numerator and 3 as the denominator. But what does that actually mean? If I had a bar of chocolate and I split it into 3 parts and I gave 1/3 of it to Mrs. Riot, that means that I'm giving her 1 out of the 3 pieces that I have. Okay, so these 1/3 stories are mainly written in English, but they slowly build up so that by the end, 1/3 of the story is written in Spanish. So every now and again, as we read through the story, I might ask you to note down on your piece of paper what 1 or 2 of the Spanish words mean. Okay, but for now, I just want you to sit back and listen. Okay, so remember it's called The Watery Tale of Wilma the Whale. And it's written by Jessica Bancroft, illustrated by Hannah Hutchins, and the Spanish part has been translated by Clara Criado Escriba. Okay, let's begin. Wilma the whale never quite fitted in at school. She was too big to hula hoop, too tall to play basketball, and could never find a good place to hide in hide and seek. And although she had a very big family, she didn't really fit in with them either. Her mum and dad both had rojo tails, but Wilma didn't have a rojo tail like her mama y her papa. Okay, the word I want you to try and write down is the word rojo, one of our colour words. See if you can spell it, rojo, and write down what it means in English. Fantastico, it means red, and it's spelled R-O-J-O. Excellent, let's move on. Her grandpa and grandma both had verde fins, but Wilma didn't have verde fins like su abuela y su abuelo. And her 5 brothers and 5 sisters all had azul scales. Okay, I want you now to write down the word 5. So let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it means number 5. But how do we spell it? It has that th sound at the beginning. So let me show you. Hopefully you can see it there. 5 brothers and sisters. Excelente. And that's all the pictures on the part I've just read. Muy bien. But Wilma didn't have any scales at all. And sus hermanos y hermanas were always teasing her about it. But the thing that really set Wilma apart from the rest of her family was just how big she was. And that was always most obvious at meal times. Every morning, Abuela's grandma made breakfast. Time for el desayuno, she said. Who likes los huevos? Me gustan los huevos para el desayuno, cried Wilma, rushing into the kitchen. But she was so excited that she overturned the table with one of her massive flippers and set los huevos, the eggs, flying. Wilma, moaned sus hermanos y hermanas. Sorry, mumbled Wilma, feeling like the only whale in the room. Every afternoon, Papa made lunch. Time for el almuerzo, he said. Who likes los sandwiches? Me gustan los sandwiches para el almuerzo, said Wilma with a grin. Then she scoffed every last one of them, and let out a great big burp. Wilma! cried sus hermanos y hermanas, rolling their eyes. Better out than in, I always say, said Abuelo. Even that didn't make Wilma feel any better. Every evening, Mamá made dinner. Time for la cena, she said. Who likes el helado? Can you write that word down on your piece of paper? Helado. That was in our last Spanish lesson. Think about the silent letter at the beginning. Muy bien. It's an H. Helado. Helado. And remember, it means the ice cream. Me gusta el helado para la cena, bellowed Wilma, rushing to the table. She opened her big mouth to take an extra bite of helado and swallowed all sus hermanos y hermanas. Who are her hermanos y hermanas? Muy bien, all her brothers and sisters. Oh dear. Okay, that's the end of part 1. We'll continue in a minute. Okay, let's continue with the story. Wilma! They moaned from inside her mouth, sounding a little muffled. Wilma spat them all back out, covered in helado. You and your big mouth are always ruining el desayuno, el almuerzo y la cena, said one of sus hermanos or one of sus hermanas. It was difficult to tell. You should just get lost. Clearly not very happy, are they, her brothers and sisters? Maybe they're right, sighed Wilma. Maybe I should just get lost. Goodbye, Mama y Papa. Adios, Abuela y Abuelo. Adios, hermanos y hermanas. You'll be a happier family without me. Then she packed her bag and swam away into the deep azul sea. What does azul mean? Excelente. The deep blue sea. Azul is the color blue. Wilma swam and swam until she came to a shipwreck, where she sat down to cry. She was crying into her fins when a hermit crab sidled up beside her. Hola, said the crab. Why are you crying? Because I don't fit in anywhere, wept Wilma, blowing her nose so hard that she sent the crab tumbling, claw over shell. And now I'm all alone. Don't you have a family? Asked the crab. Well, yes, Wilma snuffled. A very big familia, actually. I have una mamá y un papá. Tengo un abuelo y una abuela. Y tengo 5 hermanos y 5 hermanas. But I'm so different to all of them. They're just better off without me. Oh, I don't know about that, said the hermit crab. I've never had una familia. No tengo una mamá. No tengo un papá. No tengo un abuelo. No tengo una abuela. No tengo un hermano. No tengo una hermana. I think it's better to be a bit different than to be all alone. What does no tengo mean? Remember, tengo means I have. So what does no tengo mean? Excelente. I don't have. So the crab is saying that he doesn't have a lovely big family like Wilma. You've got no familia, said Wilma. What about friends? No tengo amigos, said the crab. I've always found it hard to come out of my shell. Wilma looked at the lonely hermit crab and smiled for the first time that day. Well, I'm going to be your amiga, she said. We'll go back to my familia and we can be different together. My name is Wilma, by the way. ¿Cómo te llamas? What does that question mean? We did that right at the beginning of year 2. Muy bien. What's your name? Let's find out what the crab's name is. Me llamo Herman, said her new amigo. Or in English, we would say Herman. Me llamo, my name is. Oops, sorry, I forgot to show you the picture there. There's Wilma and her new friend. What was the word for friend? Excelente. Amigo. So if it's a friend that's a boy, we say amigo. What happens if it's a friend that's a girl? Excelente. It's amiga. So the O changes to an A. Wilma and Herman raced past tumble seaweeds and purring catfish on their way home. They laughed and they joked all the way. Hola, everybody, Wilma cried when they arrived. I'm back. She sounds a bit happier now she's found a friend. Mama, Papa, Abuela, Abuelo, called Wilma. She would have even been pleased to see sus hermanos y hermanas. Where is everybody? I don't know, replied Herman, lifting up a stool to see if anyone was hiding underneath it. Where have they all gone? What's happened? Pause and have a think. But Wilma's familia weren't under anything. They were high above her head, caught in an enormous fishing net. Help us, Wilma, cried Abuelo. You can do it, Wilma, cheered Abuelo. So her grandparents are asking her to help save the family from this huge fishing net. Do you think she's going to be successful in helping them? I think so. Wilma swam up to them and opened her mouth wide enough to fit the net and all su familia inside. Then she pulled and pulled and pulled. Uno, dos, tres, heave, shouted Herman as he tugged at her tail. Wilma gave one last mighty yank and the rope holding the net snapped. Wilma opened her mouth. Her relieved familia swam out. Abuela y Abuelo with their verde fins first. Then Mama y Papa with their rojo tails. And then uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, 10 hermanos y hermanas with their azul scales. She's managed to save them all. Okay, we're going to pause there and then read the very last bit of the story. Okay, welcome back to the final part. Wilma, your big mouth saved us. They all cheered and swam in circles around her. Wilma scooped up Herman in her flippers and gave him a hug. You are right, she said. Being different doesn't mean I have to be alone. Tengo una abuela, un abuelo, una mamá, un papá. Tengo 5 hermanos y 5 hermanas. Y tengo un amigo. That's the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. And at the back of the book is something really useful called a glossary. And this one shows us all the important Spanish words that were introduced and tells us what they mean in English. So what I want you to do is say each word after me. Okay, vamos, are we ready? Abuela, grandmother. Abuelo, grandfather. Adiós, goodbye. Almuerzo, lunch. Let's try that one again because that's a bit tricky. Almuerzo. Perfecto. Amiga, that's a friend who's a girl. Amigo, friend who's a boy. Azul, the color blue. Cena, dinner. Cinco, 5. ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? Cuatro, number 4. Desayuno. That's another new word and it means breakfast. Let's say that together. Desayuno. Excelente. 10, number 10. Dos, number 2. Familia, family. Hermana, sister. Hermano, brother. Helado, ice cream. Hola, hello. Huevos, eggs. Mama, mum. Me gusta, like. Okay, me llamo, my name is. No tengo, I don't have. 9, 9. Ocho, 8. Papa, dad. Para, 4. Rojo, red. Sandwiches, sandwiches. 6, number 6. Siete, number 7. Tengo, I have. And tres, 3. Nearly there. Uno, 1. Verde, green. And y, the letter Y, and. Now your task, year 3, I would like you to draw me a picture of Wilma's family and label it in Spanish. Okay, so remember, there's Wilma, there's her abuelo and her abuela, her grandma and her grandpa, and they had which color fins? Verde, muy bien, the green fins. There's her mama and her papa, her mum and dad, and they have rojo, red fins. Then she's got 5 hermanos, 5 brothers, and 5 hermanas, 5 sisters. And they all have, I think it was, azul scales, blue scales, okay? So what I'd like you to do is draw me a beautiful picture, colour it in, and label it. So those words that are in the glossary, I'm going to include in the final part of the video so you can see them more clearly than what I've just shown you now. Okay, I'm really looking forward to seeing your fantastic pictures. Okay, bye for now.
Okay, so here is the glossary for you to see a bit more clearly. I'm going to go through just those main words to do with the family. So we have abuela and abuelo, grandma and grandpa. Then further down the list we have hermana and hermano, sister and brother. And then we have mama and papa. Okay, so use that when it comes to doing the task that I'm going to explain now. So task 1 is a drawing. Draw a picture of Wilma the whale's family. Remember to include su abuelo, su abuela, su mama, su papa, sus 5 hermanos y sus 5 hermanas. The word su just means his or her. So in this case it's Wilma's grandpa, grandma, mum, dad, 5 brothers and 5 sisters. I would also like you to see if you can add little details. So remember, su abuelo and su abuela have verde fins. Su mama y su papa have rojo fins. And the brothers and sisters, los hermanos y las hermanas, have azul scales. If you can label your drawing in Spanish, that would be great. So that's like where you've got a picture, you draw a line with a ruler, and then at the end of the line, you're going to write the Spanish word. Okay? Now, Mr. Olins made a little video challenging all the children at Grange to do a book review. And if you could do that for this story, that would be fantastic, because I would love to see them, and I'll also send them on to Mr. Olins. So you won't just get a shout out from me, but you will get one from Mr. Olins as well. It says, answer these questions. You can either write your answers on a piece of paper and send them to me, or you could ask a grown-up to record you answering the questions if you find writing a little bit tricky, and you can send in your audio or video clip. Now, these are the 5 questions I want you to answer. Did you like the story, the Wilma the Whale story? It's fine if you didn't, but I want you to explain either way. So if you liked it, why did you like it? If you didn't like it, why did you not like it? Did it help you to learn some new Spanish words or to revise some Spanish words? Because that's one of the main aims of these kinds of stories, okay? Do you think you would like to hear another 1/3 story? This is a really important question for me, because I would like to know the answer to that before I prepare your next video, okay? Would you recommend the story to a friend? Explain why or why not, okay? And the final one, the creative one, can you think of your own idea for a story about celebrating difference? So this story was about celebrating difference, and I think in your PSHE lessons you would probably have done some work on that topic. So you could just write down a couple of sentences. What would your idea be about celebrating differences between people? Is it the different clothes we wear? Is it the different countries we come from? The different languages we speak, or the different types of festivals we have? Okay, write down a little idea. I would love to hear your thoughts. And finally, remember, send me the work, please, guys. And I hope you have a lovely weekend. Feliz fin de semana. That means happy weekend. And if you are interested in the stories, please go to the website www.1thirdstories.com. I think there's a sale on at the moment if your grown-ups are interested in buying the stories. Okay, so stay safe, stay well, year 3, and take care. Adios.